everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Comics News Today for the 2nd of January. We're definitely starting to get back into it here. This week, we'll finish out as normal, and then, of course, next week will be a fully normal week into the new year. And we appreciate you guys coming on and being part of this. As always, we like you guys to go down and check out our links down below, particularly our FanSpeak page over on Facebook, where we have a growing community, and we'd love to not only go over and join that, but be part of it. Put up your ideas, put up your reviews, put up some news you like, throw in your comic book that you're making. We're happy to have it, and we love interacting with that. So thank you guys very much for that. Also, if you want to be on any of the shows, this is FanSpeak after all. We'd love to have you on. Just go ahead and hit up my Twitter and drop me a link, and I will do my best to get you on as soon as you are available, or at least we can schedule it. But very happy to have new voices come on, so keep that in mind. And also, of course, another thing, if you're an artist and you would like to partake in the Joiner Quartered Ultimate Edition, which will be coming up here in 2 hours, we'd love to have you be part of that as well. We always see new faces. The roster of artists over there is huge. It's really cool because we see just some amazing art. And today is going to be a good day too, because from Dina's request, which you all know Dina's an amazing artist, we are doing Warhammer 40K. Yes, I know it's a weird thing that a Chinese lady from Hong Kong plays Warhammer 40K, but hey, that's the world we live in. So come and check it out. So that should be really cool. Those are some interesting characters that they can play on, Space Marines and all that other stuff. I'm kind of curious what people will take on it. So that should be pretty cool. But thank you all for coming here. Do keep in mind that although we do appreciate the subscriptions and those like buttons and all that such stuff, we really, really need you to hit that share button because that's what helps out. We are live streamers after all, and having more people up in here with us is a lot of fun, which is kind of the point for us. But as you guys see, we have our co-host today is Todd Mulrooney, the creator of Ignition, the guy behind Anycom TV, the man himself, Mr. New Thor. How you doing, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I got through that pretty well. I didn't make too many mistakes, I think. That was almost smooth. Well, we'll keep working on
Very
it.
smooth.
Another year of practice. Another year of practice. Hopefully. But anyway, yeah, no, we got Todd in here. Nice seeing him first time this year. Why don't you relay to the folks how your holidays went, man?
Oh, everything went really well. We had everyone under this roof, which was good. That always makes me feel really good when everyone's here.
Hmm.
Meeting my kids and close loved ones and stuff like that. So that felt good. There's no better feeling than just everyone. All your kids being under the same roof because they grow up and they get out and they
Yeah,
have their own lives. And as much as you don't want to I never really push the issue or anything like that, like, oh geez, you haven't been here in a month or anything like that. I just say, I miss you and I can't wait to see you. And when
sure.
they're here, and that's what I love about it.
Oh yeah, no, I got both my kids sitting in the room with me right now. One is doing makeup, the other one is snoring. It's perfect. And we're actually going to go out to after I finish all my shows today, which is I got about 5 hours ahead of me. But once I finish all of these, we're going to actually go out to dinner together, and we got a pancake house over here. It's a Hawaiian pancake house, oddly enough, but the pancakes are pretty good actually. Are you a person or a proponent of pancakes for dinner?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Breakfast
Yeah,
for dinner is a big New England thing,
it is,
and
dude.
we do it a lot.
It
But
is.
Hawaiian pancakes, what makes it Hawaiian? Is
Um,
it
I don't know. It's I think really what it is it's the Hawaiians are excuse me, the Japanese are kind of long time crazed with Hawaii. They love it. A lot of them have taken a vacation over there in their lifetime. I don't know what it is about Hawaii, but the Japanese really like it. And what they have over in Hawaii is this Kona coffee, which is it's kind of a middling coffee, but because it's Hawaiian, the Japanese like it. So it's really a Hawaiian Kona coffee place that is Hawaiian themed. Because I lived in Hawaii for 7 years, and they did have a singular pancake place, and it was okay. So Hawaii is not actually known for pancakes at all, but it doesn't matter. The pancakes at this place are actually pretty good. Actually, everything at that place is pretty good. It's a solid restaurant, actually.
what's the name of this place?
I think it's called Kona Coffee. Let me check. Sakura, what is the name of that restaurant? Yeah, Kona Coffee. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. It's a chain here in Japan, actually.
How far is this from you?
Oh, geez, hour and a half ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I live
Yeah, you
way
do
out in the
live in a
country,
little.
dude.
Yeah, you live in a small fishing village, right?
I do. Well, I do. And I know people might think I'm being hyperbolic with that statement, but no, I'm not at all. I
Right.
literally live in a little Japanese fishing village. I'm not kidding. But it's nice though. It's quiet. It's a great place to raise a family because, Japan still has a sense of community more so than America. America's kind of lost this a lot across many demographics, but Japan still has it in general. But when you pull down to the little scale like this, it has it in spades, right? So we have actual community here that goes out several times a year to help clean up and spruce up the area and are involved in conversations. And when my kids are running around when they were little, if they act well, when my son, let me reiterate that, would run around and cause trouble as a little young boy will, the neighbors would scold him. Get in his case for it and stuff like that. And that's a great thing to live in that kind of community when you got kids. So I'm very appreciative of that, dude. Very appreciative. You know,
Cool.
it is cool. Yeah, it was a good place, and I was able to build a business. I have to go to the city over the mountain, but it's only like a 30-minute ride, so it's not that big a deal. But anyway, sweet. We are definitely caught up with that. Let me check out the chat and then we'll jump into today's news. Let's see, we got Roger Heller in here saying hello to everyone in his very, very polite and nice way, which we're always happy to have Roger here. We got Ara as well saying greetings all. Well, greetings to you, Ara. We have Walter Garvey. Hello, Walter. Nice to see you in here. We got Dark Admiral March here. He says hello, everybody, and ahoy to Ara. Very nice. Mayor McCheese is back. First time I've seen him this year. How you doing, dude? So yeah, we got a nice little group in here, and we'll see it grow, of course, over the next hour. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Do have some interesting news today. So the first thing I want to do, of course, is allow Todd to be able to see what we're doing. So I'll come over here and share this. And then I'll jump right into it. Yeah, all right. You ready, Todd? We're about to go. Kind of
I'm
deep here.
ready. Let's go.
Ooh. Now,
Doctor Who rates. Wow.
yeah, yeah. Now you know the format here. Whoever's in here with me has to do the reading, so that's kind of on you today. You are today's Denali.
No. Oh, no.
Yes,
I
you
am
are.
not. I'm
You
not
are.
familiar with. Okay,
Now I'm in
Doctor Who
charge of the
writes out
story. You just have to read the title. It's okay. You can do that.
Okay, Doctor Who Doctor Who writes out Torchwood and Unit with a single line.
They do.
Okay, I thought Torchwood was a show.
It was. It was canceled years ago, but it ran for a few seasons, and it was kind of popular. And it's interesting too to me this article, because I don't know how familiar you are with Doctor Who, but you must have watched it when you were a kid, dude. There's no way you didn't watch Doctor Who.
Here and there, I never was a big Doctor Who fan
You
because
were not a
remember,
Whovian, huh?
well, here's the thing: when it first started, when it very, very first started showing up on RTV, whether
Hmm.
it was PBS or whatever it was, we
Yeah,
were talking about theater. This was not a show.
it
This was
was theater.
theater.
You're right. Tom Baker. Yeah, yeah. They
Right.
did.
So it didn't look like anything else that was on
It's
TV,
true.
and it was kind of weird.
Yeah, no, you're
So there
right.
was never that. Yeah, it was never like something you thought, oh, this is like Star Trek. It's not even close.
No, it was
Not
absolutely
that it
theater.
probably
Yeah.
right. Not that it probably wasn't like it in plot and stuff like that. But man, the way it looked was just bare bones, you know?
Mhm, mhm. And then they would have a few outside shots they would add in, of course, but you're right. Most
Mhm.
of it was sat on a set, and but it was really a lot of fun. It was hokey, it was cheap, low level production, not like what they do today, but it was just something so charming about it. Even as a kid, you could get that. Tom Baker was absolutely amazing. He's still the best Doctor. I mean, David Tennant kicked it. I mean, David Tennant was really cool. I love David Tennant, but Tom Baker was the best. He was the best Doctor ever, and because he encapsulated exactly what the Doctor is, and of course that was a great series because that was when he was going up against the Master, and a lot of the Masters and the Doctors, battles were kind of really laid out in that series with Tom Baker, but But anyway, this isn't really talking about that in a way, but it is. On the other hand, it is actually because we know the new Doctor with this lady is a absolute travesty. It's not the worst part of it. Isn't that they made the Doctor a female? That's insulting unto itself. It is. It is, and I don't care what anyone says because we have a lot of people that are like, "Well, it's just really not the woman part." No, it is. It is. It's insulting. There's no need for the Doctor to be female. Not at all. But beyond that, the problem that this actress, who's not a bad actress actually, she plays the Doctor like he's a complete idiot. That's not the Doctor. The Doctor often will be coy. He's kind of like Columbo in a way. He'll
Hmm.
act like he's foolish or be very coy, but he's not. And all she does is the dumb stuff. She's just dumb. And that's bad for one, and two, most of it isn't about the doctor at all. It's about the companions around him, and it's all about the feminism. It's completely inundated with this fourth wave politics, progressivism, and of course that's what's destroyed it, and everyone's hating on it because initially a lot of people kind of are like, all right, fine, we'll take a female doctor, but they just ruined the opportunity really. In this case, with the Torchwood thing and UNIT, of course, UNIT being the United Nations intelligence something or another. Torchwood, on the other hand, of course, is an old thing within Doctor Who. And of course, with Captain Jack Harkness, there you see up on the right hand side, that character was brought in. Of course, he becomes the face of Bo. For any of you real Whovians in here, you know what I'm talking about. But I find it ironic that they're going to cut it out of the show because they cut it out. The Torchwood and unit inside the show, meaning that because of austerity and budget cuts and stuff like that. And so they didn't just ignore it; they actually legitimately removed it. I find it interesting because one thing about Harkness that they were so proud of all those years back is he's a gay man. You know,
Hmm.
so I don't know, but they're not going to save Doctor. They're not going to save the Doctor because the first season with her, people really hated it and they peeled off hardcore because of the dumbness of it. It's not the Doctor at all, and this season isn't shaping up to be any different. Now, I kind of laid out the entire story of what this is talking about. I think I tried to be succinct, but do you have any opinions on what I just said?
Because I don't. I know even the Brits don't like this doctor, so I'm
No.
definitely not paying attention.
And the Brits were all on board for it being a female. Understand that most of the complaining that was
Right.
coming out about the female was from America, not Britain, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And it's really their showrunner that they're more mad at than anything.
yeah. Because like I said, this actress, which I can't think her name is Jodie or something like that, Jodie Whittaker maybe. She's actually
Yes.
not a bad actress. She's doing what she's told, obviously, but it's not the Doctor. It's just dumb, and it's really unfortunate. But I don't know that this will kill Doctor Who because there have been times in Doctor Who's run where it was pretty sad, dude. The '80s were I don't you don't even talk about it. Don't look at it, right? So it came
Mm.
back, and I didn't think it will. It is an iconic show. Let me see if the chat has any opinion on Doctor Who. I kind of figured out how to do this all much quicker now, so I can come over in between each article and talk to you guys. Ara says, "Love breakfast or dinner in my New England home." Dude, Ara's from New England too, dude. There's more of us in here. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know what it is about us New Englanders, but we do like breakfast for dinner. Same. Awesome. Great to be in here, fellas, says Mayor McCheese. Oh, we're very happy to have you, dude. All right, well, let's move over to the next story. Hopefully, this is one that Todd knows more about. But it's sad for me, dude, because I love Doctor Who and all its quirky corniness. I understand that it's just this oddball thing. I get it, but it's just I don't know. The charm is undeniable when you do it right. But anyway, moving on. Let's see here. Now this one you certainly know something about. This is a weird article, dude. Go ahead.
Captain America actress charged with killing her mother in Kansas.
Yeah, dude. This is a serious article, dude. And of course, they're talking about Molly Fitzgerald, who played Stark Girl. Now, I don't recognize her
Stark
offhand.
girl.
I don't recognize her offhand. Do you? I went and found a picture of her.
No,
No, I think this is
no.
the picture from the movie, actually. This one here, I think, is the one from the movie. It looks like it. She's got the military
Oh, you
uniform.
know where she was? When he came to, and they were duping him in that he was in another time, like playing
Mhm.
an old baseball game. Well, they screwed up, and it was a baseball game
That he
that
had
he
already
had went
heard.
to.
Yeah.
Right, and this actress was put into the room to try to make him feel comfortable, and then he realizes that something's up and stuff. So that's who she is. She's the one that enters the room, and she kind of resembles that other actress, and
Yeah.
all that was on purpose to try to make him like they were there. It's not like they were gonna tell him, but they wanted him to kind of ease into it, he realized, right away that he had been at that baseball game and something's up.
Right. Well, and I loved that scene. I love that scene because what it did was, this is why I still think Captain America: The First Avenger is the best Marvel movie so far. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, it's Infinity War," which I understand the argument, or the Winter Soldier, which is a great movie. It's a great spy thriller. But Captain America: First Avenger, first of all, is very true to the character. Second of all, it was very clever in its creation. Very clever. Lots of little clever things. And it also showed in that one little scene how smart Captain America is without doing much, without even saying it. It's just off the cuff. He would recognize that so quickly and be quick enough to respond properly, right? He's quick on his feet, right? And that's, of course, one of Captain America's best advantages is his intelligence, which is what, because he's powerful, he's strong, but his intelligence, which leads to his leadership, is what makes Captain America great, I think. But that all aside, well, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this chick killed her mom. Dude, it legitimately killed her mother. I read through the entire article, and they don't have a lot of information. They had to talk to actually the mother's brothers and sisters and stuff. There's not much information here, but oof, man, that's another
Is
comic
this a
book.
brutal thing, like a really, really brutal
Stabbed
tragic, or
her, yeah, stabbed
wow?
her, yeah, yeah. And her mom was like 68, and she's like 38. So the mother had children late, and the father is like a lawyer or something. But yeah, no, this is really shocking news, and this is another bit of news of people involved with comic book movies getting themselves in serious trouble, right? Uh,
Well, I mean, she plays a bit part, so
she does, I
you
get that, but it's still, it's going to have some
it's a
taint.
good come on, it's just a good headline
It
because
is,
she's
yeah,
such a minor actress that they probably wouldn't
yeah.
it wouldn't make any kind of, connection other than, "Oh, she was in a popular movie."
Right, I think that's true. And of course that's why I'm talking about it. But it is not as dynamically crushing as the Smallville lady was, her Allison something, and of course Kirsten being involved and now affiliated with that and involved with that, which I talked about yesterday actually, because that's disgusting. It's one thing to get in an argument and kill your mom, I mean that's pretty horrible, but and which is why it's second degree murder, it's not first degree murder. That thing that the Allison Mack did, that's just evil, man. That's just pure evil, right? And man, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
You know, I hmm, it is evil, and her part in it is pretty evil, but I don't think like, come on, people don't head down that path
Hmm.
just on persuasion alone.
Oh no, of
So
course not.
whether it's like, hey, there's plenty of drugs on this path, there's plenty of something on this path, or there's plenty, I don't know what it is, but people went down that path, not just because she was, somebody who could persuade people. I
Yeah.
doubt it.
Yeah. No, and of course that's very true. She had something dark in her already. This whole thing about brainwashing and all that stuff. I mean, there's certainly an effect on it, but you are also an individual who can make decisions. Yeah, so I agree 100%. Erotimus Flash is an extra from Captain America kills mother. Yeah, it's weird, right? Um, and March Hare says, "No way, Infinity War was the best." No, I agree, but there are some who will argue with you for sure, and to each his own, really. But yeah, a bit of shocking news, man. But moving on, moving on. Ooh, ooh, go ahead.
CW's Deathstroke cartoon sneaks up with a debut date.
Now, this article has no information whatsoever. And I'm not joking. I'm not saying it's just a short little article, which of course Newsarama, many of them do these little useless paragraphs. But this literally has nothing. Let me show you. Okay, there you go. And Owadi
Wow.
finished. Yeah.
Deathstroke as a character
Hmm.
has kind of done one of those, I don't know, Punisher things where he's
Hmm.
a bad guy and but a popular character. And now he's got what, a daughter he has to he's trying to kind of save or something like that.
Yeah.
She's headed down a dark path.
Yeah.
So this very interesting character. Now the book, if you look through the history of the Deathstroke book, the last couple iterations of it, always drawn by really good artists. So
Sure.
I've always looked in it. I haven't always read it, but I've always given it a gander and amazed by some of the art that's been in it. He's a very cool looking character.
It is cool, and of course, this is where Deadpool came from. And Deadpool, I think, is a more interesting character because Deathstroke is very serious, where Deadpool, of course, is not. But it is an interesting character. I've always liked it, and I've certainly read a couple of the Deathstroke comics. But I do find it interesting that they're not this animated series. It sounds like it has nothing to do with the Arrowverse whatsoever, which I think is a good thing. Keep it separate. But another thing I thought was kind of interesting, if you look at the voice actors that are involved here, we have Panta Moshle, the character. Is being done by Lady Shiva, whatever that is. That's not your real name. Salmon is being done by Wintergreen. Okay, or is this the opposite? Oh no, I see. Lady Shiva. I had it backwards. All right. Okay. Sasha Alexander playing Addie. I don't know any of these people. I don't know you, but you know who I do know? Michael Chiklis
Michael
is
Chiklis,
voicing Deathstroke, dude. Okay. That's all I need.
the Shield.
Yeah, no, that was a great show, dude. He played Thing as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I like Michael Chiklis quite a bit, actually. So
He
I'm
was in another superhero show where it
was
was
he?
a family. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
this one, but
right.
there was
Like
a
a
family,
Nickelodeon
the
or Disney
blonde
thing.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was like an artist who drew for the police. Put those sketches together. That was
Hmm.
his real job,
Yeah.
but that was his way to kind of finding out things that he could try to solve. That was sort of his little
His inside, yeah.
hitch to how yeah,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
inside hitch, right.
Uh, yeah. But no,
I forget
and yeah, you're right. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Nickelodeon or Disney. Someone in the chat will tell me, I'm sure. But you're right. He did do that. But it's cool, man. And one thing that's absolutely true, DC animation is way better than Marvel animation. It always has been. I don't know why that is exactly, but Marvel kicks butt in the live
they don't
action, and
try as they don't try they don't try as hard. There's been a precedent set by Bruce Timm that you don't have to try to do what comic book guys is, where they throw in the detail and the muscle and stuff. You
right.
don't have to do that. If
No,
you
I
do a
guess
good
so.
shading and mood stuff and all that thing sort of comes together because it's an illusion and it's a
Hmm.
fast moving illusion.
Sure.
You don't I don't know if you remember the 80s X-Men, but
Of
you
course.
look at
Yeah.
it and it's like, oh, it's like horrid looking. It was just really bad. You don't have to do all that.
Yeah, it's good
You don't
storytelling is
have
what's important, and DC does it better.
Yeah, it was good
Um,
storytelling.
an
Right.
interesting thing, and I'm kind of curious on your opinion because you are a comic book historian yourself. For me, I have always seen DC as having the hokiest, uncool naming conventions, but DC is more adult in its storytelling. I've always felt, whereas Marvel has the much cooler looking and much cooler naming convention, but it's more geared toward the teenager. It's more toned down. I've always felt this. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I never really like because I kind of grew out of superhero comics, right? So
Sure.
at a very sort of young age. But I've always looked at them because of the artists and stuff like that, and I'd love to do superhero comics. So it's not like I'm out of the element, but when it comes to, like you said, that being more teen, I think it can go both ways with both of them. I actually agree, because the I think what elevates what you're saying is the vertigo stuff, the mature approach to things like Swamp Thing and Alan
Yeah.
Moore stuff. I think that really helped
Yeah, no,
elevate
I'd agree with the Swamp
storytelling,
Thing.
where they
Yeah.
were more adventurous with allowing their creators to do that.
Yeah, I just always felt that DC handled was more adult leaning, whereas Marvel was less. But I don't know. Chat, tell me what you think. Give me your opinion over there. I'll come over and check it. But that's just always been my feel on it. But as far as comic book characters, I mean, you're doing the new Thor. I mean, that's a comic book character.
Yeah, and he's there's some superheroing in that, and in my approach to the whole costuming thing originally was one way, and then I decided to go with more of a uh, X-Men and kind of look,
Sure.
where you'd have little bits and pieces of armor, so that it looks very like, originally I was headed towards like fur, and I wanted all that, and then I started to see what Nick Klein was doing with the new King Thor, which just came out this week,
Yeah.
and I saw, oh Jesus, he's doing that. So I didn't want to go down any roads that
Well,
ever had gone down. I was always trying to go somewhere where somebody hasn't, and so I decided to kind of X-Men the hell out of it as
yeah.
far as costuming.
Well, and I think it's good. I mean, I don't want to get into it too much because I know you're under NDA,
Mhm.
I've got a feeling, at least from the peripheral, that it's more modern anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we won't go any further than that. So yeah, I think it's cool, dude. I think it's cool. But I'm definitely gonna watch this. I tell you what. The interesting thing, I haven't watched it yet, but the new what Harley Quinn movie, I guess. I don't think it was a series, but Booster really liked it. He seemed to enjoy it quite a bit. I haven't seen it. The only thing I saw on it was there was some just hardcore progressive politics, at least in a few scenes that they showed on the trailer. But whatever. Interesting. Moving on. Now, this one, I'm not sure if you know much about this.
Oh, I will ask some questions with this. Okay, Final Fantasy VII Remake leaked.
Mm,
PS4 demo allegedly contains PC code,
yeah.
whatever that means. Um, this I don't know what it is about Nintendo. That's what my son used to call it, Nintendo. I don't know what it is about Nintendo, but they remake their stuff more than anybody. For each
Mm,
console, I recently played Link's Awakening, and it's basically a remake, and there's a lot of added things, but it's like they don't know how to, especially Final Fantasy. It's just where they don't know where to go next, so they just go back
right.
and redo things.
Well,
I don't know what to try that is.
this is specifically Square Enix, but I get your point with Nintendo products. They do that a lot, but they do it to fan praise though, because there's been a lot of hype around this and others. And do keep in mind that I think it's Final Fantasy 14. They made as this is one thing that endears Nintendo to people. They make mistakes, but they always come back. They're that comeback kid, right? And the Switch saved their butt. I'm telling you what. But they came out with Final Fantasy 14. It was an MMO, which is a different take, right? And
Mm.
it was bad. It was really, really bad. So what did they do? Did they cancel it? Did they move on to the next thing? Nope. They went back and redid the whole thing. See, fan service. And that's because this kind of things are being controlled in Japan, right? Where Sony has basically turned over all the controlling factor to the American bosses, and who are now sat in Los Angeles, I think, or San Francisco. And those people are just screwing the pooch hardcore. What Japan needs to do, what Sony needs to do, is pull the control back to Japan. Because in Japan, you cannot even imagine how much face they lost when Final Fantasy 14 came out and was not good. It was a real problem, and they decided to spend. They're bringing a new guy who did an amazing job, and to spend that money, and it was a lot of money, to make it right. That's Japanese. right thinking right there. And of course, the American side of things, particularly with Sony and things like that, they could care less because they don't care about what they're selling to you. Just shut up and buy it, right? Is kind of the attitude, unfortunately. So I don't have a problem with the remakes because they're being done lovingly. And this right here, this whole article is really just rehashing stuff we've already talked about, and you guys probably already know. But what it's really telling us in this remake, which looks pretty good, is the fact that there's PC code in there. And now what that means is that it's not going to be just a PlayStation or a console exclusive. It's going to be on the PC as well. And for those of us who play are PC gamers like myself, we are the PC elite ruling class over the horrible console peasants. And of course, it's nice that we're being thought of. That's what it's about. No comment.
I wonder when there'll be a day when those things are kind of seamless, like porting from PC to console will just
I
be
say
like,
it's already here. I
yeah.
feel it's already here. There's a little bit of non crossover, but I think it's done. And the fifth edition, the fifth generation that's coming out this year, will end it completely. I'm sure there will no longer be a separation at all. Now, sometimes exclusives can be well exclusive, but one thing we've seen them doing recently is it's exclusive for 6 months. Or it's exclusive for a year or something like that, and then it goes everywhere else. So the true exclusivity has been kind of done away with, I think. But I think it's great. There's a lot of people who only play a PC, like myself. And although I've bought every console that existed, but my kids took them. So I mean, I'm pretty much just a PC guy. But I got a killer rig here, so I can play anything I want to play. So that's cool, dude. Cool news. Let me go over the chat and check real quick. I know we got some video gamers over there. Let's see if you guys have some opinions. Let's see here. Let's see. Kronos is in here, and he says Sony has stated that they are going to start buying OSME titles to PC Google that and get your answer, Chester. Oh yeah, there you go. Roger says that yeah, Marvel has more street level heroes and DC has more immortal metahumans. It's true. That's definitely a truthful statement. I just felt that DC has always been a little bit more adult leaning in their subject matter is all. Chrono
Yeah,
says, yeah,
yeah, and I did iterate that a lot of that came out of trial and error. They tried some things and it gravitated towards as the customer became more of an adult,
yeah.
those things became very popular. Just Marvel can't get out of its own way sometimes.
This is very true, dude. Very true. Chrono says on a console, more and more games are PC crossplay to consoles, but they are unlike usually like Sony and PC, but not Xbox or Xbox and PC, but not Sony. Yeah, that's changing though, dude. Like I said, that exclusivity thing has been becoming more and more reduced to less and less time. But yeah, I think it's changing, but and for the better. One thing, this is an aside topic, but one thing I think that comes up for me is this: for living over here in Japan, I've been here what 18 years, right? And
Hmm.
one of the problems of living in Japan, being an American, is getting some kind of content. Now, I came over here and bought a PC immediately, of course, but it was very difficult because they had all of that regional banning. And I've been trying to find ways around regional banning for years and years and years, and there was no solution, and no one cared to make a solution because it's all about money, and they don't want to waste the money it would take to get licensing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't blame them necessarily, but the system is convoluted. But then they came out with this little thing called a VPN, and it solved all my little problems. And I have no problems now because as we're speaking, I live in San Francisco. Did you know that? I live in and I chose San Francisco because it's exactly where I wouldn't live, and I thought it was funny.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But now that is now. Well, the reason I mention that is because yeah, VPNs are very handy for someone like me. But the reason I make that comment is because there's a lot of solutions being made to make the global aspect of the internet more global, and that aspect of globalism I like. What I don't like about globalism is like a one money, one rule, one, all that kind of stuff. Is just going to lead to real chaos and a lot of people being left under the bridge, as it were. But this type of thing I do like, and I think that's my point about PCs. I think the consoles and PCs will become an irrelevant difference very, very shortly. You know, so. But let's see here. Let's see. Even if folks VPN, Tatsu says, yeah, I'm in Unreal. I can make a game from every device. Yeah, that's right. Unreal is very handy. It's a good system too. There are limitations based on features that also are changing. That's true too. There is some coding issues, but once again, that's being eliminated as well. Thundero's here. He says, "Evening." Well, hello, sir. Junkyard Don is in here. He said, "I've been to San Fran, and I can agree with that statement. I've been once too. I just thought it was funny because I have a choice of a whole bunch of well, anywhere in the world. I can set my computer's IP with a VPN, but I just leave it in San Francisco because I don't. It just strikes me as funny. So I enjoy having comedy to myself. Does that say something about me, Todd?
Does that allow you to watch the Red Sox?
I can, yeah, I can. Well, sometimes with like football and stuff, I'll have to change my VPN to a local area because they do still have that blackout thing with it, unless they sell it. You know, how they if they don't sell out all the tickets, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can manage it. But yeah, no, it lets me see all American stuff. Sometimes I go live myself over in some little. Place called the Dark Yards or something like that in London. I occasionally live there, et cetera, et cetera. And with me, sometimes I'll go to Germany or I'll go to other places because I can, my language skills and those things are enough that I can watch something. I certainly wouldn't want to have to translate or anything, or even have to speak it, but I can at least watch and understand something, in most of the European countries. So I do jump around the world quite a bit. I'm a jet setter from my armchair. It's pretty awesome. Uh, Nick says, I don't understand. What's funny about San Francisco? I don't know. They're a bunch of out of their mind freaking fruitcakes. How about that? No to Google Stadia. I agree with that, dude. That's just a dumb idea. I don't know who had that idea. Who's going to pay for that? Why would you have to pay for that? We already have it. George is here and he says he has a story for everyone to check out, or he has a story for us to check out. I don't know. Should I click it? Should I? I don't
Well,
know.
oh, he's giving you a link.
He did give me a link. I'm a bit worried about that, but let me read the couple other comments before I decide whether I'm going to click on that link. Thundero says that's not globalism, that's globalization, and it's been going on for centuries. Globalism is an ideology about taking away borders and enforcing a Chinese-style communist global community. Well, that's true. It's a common conflation by globalists to deflect from their insidiousness. Well, I'm not a globalist, dude. I was just making a simple point, but I agree. Hey, DeWolf's in here. He says Thunderman is right. Wow. DeWolf agreeing with Thundero? Are pigs flying? Jesus. Stay away from Canada. Well, that's a given. YouTube bot incoming, right, Nick? Uh, yeah, I read it the way you wrote it. It's okay, Thundero. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna click the link. I'm clicking the link. I'm doing it. It's done. And now I'm keeping it on the other side here so I can make a decision. Oh, this is something that George would certainly be interested in. I don't know if we want to take a bite out of this, though, George. Maybe Saturday we can take a look at this. But basically, what he sent me is, and I saw this article. I just decided not to talk about it. It's did Disney copy and paste Raiders of the Lost Ark for Rise of Star Skywalker? Now, this article goes through like point for point every copied thing between the Rise of Skywalker and Indiana Jones and there are what is it 32 points or 31 points here it is an interesting article. I just didn't want to bite into it until I had a bigger crew in here because I knew today would still be kind of still holiday, so we're not going to get a lot of people in here. But maybe on Saturday, George, we'll bite into this. But you know what I will do, George, is I will ask the my co-host here because he did see Star Wars. What do you think about that
Hmm.
that article that's been going around? That fact that it looks like JJ, copied and pasted something again.
What do they mean by that? Like, what do you? Are we talking like Pocahontas being like Avatar, Or what do you mean? What is it? I don't get it
Well,
because I
that's like
haven't.
it's 31 points that are exact copy of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which are in this new movie.
I don't. I didn't get any of that. I mean, I don't. I didn't. Wasn't left with any impression that this movie was like, uh, not original as far as it just copies some other
Mm,
format or something or I didn't get any of that honestly.
okay.
I think we talked about the movie prior to coming on, but it it has its merits and has its non-merits, but
Sure. Sure. Well, no,
I certainly don't look at it and go, oh, this is just like, for instance, the first one being, oh, this is just like a rehash of A Good Hope with different characters, and it was, or A New Hope, I mean, and it was kind of like that, it was like, oh Jesus, they didn't really follow much anything, other than what they did with A New Hope. So this doesn't have anything like Return of the Jedi, or even anything else like Raiders of the Lost Ark or anything. It doesn't.
all right. Well, let me take a look at him though. Let's just go through it then. So let's see here. Matter of fact, let me. I will bring the article up over to the other side. Boom. There we go. It's all right. We only had a
Let me.
couple articles anyway. We can end the show with this. So let's take a look here. So these are the points that they're making. So let's go for one. Of course, I haven't seen the movie, so I have
Oh
no
my
clue.
God, both
Number
movies are
one,
sick.
both movies begin by being set in the jungle. Okay, that's true. Two, Indy has a map. Kylo has a Sith map. Okay.
It's a Chronicon. It's like a nah,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah. No. No. I.
It's
I.
a
I get it. Yeah. Indy enters a temple. Kylo enters a temple. Okay. All right. I don't know how. I mean, there's a lot of movies that would do that. Indy, it would for me. It would be. Is it in chronological order? Kind of like in The Force Awakens. That is a near shot for shot copy of New Hope in
mhm.
chronological order, right? Did this happen chronologically to Indiana Jones? That would be an important point to know. I think. Indy has to step over floor panels to get to the prize. Chewie, Poe, and Finn are playing a game that has panels. What? No.
Yeah, they're playing the chess game.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment, but it's very, very short.
Yeah.
It has no relevance other than to say, like when he walks away, when Chewie is called to do something, they're like, he's always cheating or something. It was just meant to be funny.
Is this
But
a I'm kind of wondering if this is a joke article, because
yeah,
Indy
this
swaps on
is
an idol.
garbage.
R2D2, who is shaped like an idol, gets a large data dump. Indy has to make a run for it. TIE fighters attack, and the Millennium Falcon has to make a run for it. Well, in every movie, Indy gets past the large door lowering. The Falcon gets past a large metal scaffolding falling. Oh, okay. That's more interesting. Indy escapes the giant boulder. Falcon escapes the chasing TIE fighters. Indy runs through the
How about
jungle.
we
Ray
just
runs
move
through the
on from
jungle.
this?
Indy escapes the hordes of bad guys. Ray defeats a training robot. In Nepal, we open up with a crowd of people. Ray and company come across a crowd of aliens. Marion dies. Chewie dies. Chewie dies. Spoilers. Indy is sad. Ray is sad.
Chewie doesn't die.
Well, yeah, but he's thought to be dead. The Ark
Yeah,
is hidden and buried away. Ray buries an old lightsaber. All right, seems a bit thin to me, brother.
yeah, this is garbage.
A little
Oh, it
bit
came from
thin.
George,
It came from
the guy that's
George.
usually on this show.
Yeah, it came from George.
Oh,
It's George. But anyway, let's move on here. This is a bit more serious from rounding into comics, but it's worth mentioning. I really, what it is, what it is. Go ahead, dude.
fans threaten J.J. Abrams and report mental breakdowns over Kylo Ren's ending in Star Wars: The Rise of the Skywalker.
He dies. Spoilers. But this is a bit ridiculous. We certainly mock JG over here because he's mock worthy. He's a hack. He's an absolute hack. The guy's a great cinematographer. He's not a great director, and they keep throwing these opportunities at him, which I don't even blame him, dude. I mean, why would he turn away money and opportunity? Why would he? But he's not Steven Spielberg. Even though Hollywood so desperately wants him to be the next Spielberg, he's not. And in this situation, we can mock him for not being like that. But one thing I can say, that I've always agreed, and Pete, you guys kind of yell at me sometimes when I defend J.J. Abrams, but here's the thing: even though he is a hack, he's passionate about the things his hackery. He is, dude. And I've talked to my daughter who's seen the movie, and we'll get Todd's opinion here. But it sounds like he passionately tried to do a good job. He
He
just
did. He
yeah.
gave a lot. Look, there's a lot of characters that didn't deserve the moments that they got, but he
Mhm.
gave them to them because obviously out of the passion. But
Right.
there were
I
certainly
like to interrupt
fringe
here.
fringe
I like,
characters that no, don't interrupt. There were fringe characters that did not deserve those moments because they weren't really that big of a character,
Right.
but they were given really cool moments. So it does do a lot to do that. There was a lot of fan service in that movie.
Okay, George, go
completely
ahead and
wrong.
tell me how I'm wrong.
Completely wrong.
Yeah,
The
I know.
article that I wrote is 100% legit, and don't dismiss it
Oh,
because
you wrote the
all
article,
those
George.
all those points
You
that I
wrote that
wrote.
article,
Oh my
George.
God,
I
that is
did.
such a
I wrote that
bogus.
article. Todd, be
That
quiet,
is
please,
such
and let me
a
talk.
bogus article. That's
Okay,
such a
Todd, be
piece
quiet.
of shit.
Okay.
That is the biggest piece of
All those
shit we've
points,
ever shown on here.
all those points that I
They're
made.
just stupid. Ray is
Todd, can you be
dad.
quiet,
Kylo.
please,
I mean,
so I
it's
can
like
have a
a
talking point?
child. I wouldn't even admit that I wrote that. I
Okay, good.
seriously wouldn't.
Thank you for speaking up.
I'm
Now,
going to let
No,
this
I
go,
wouldn't. I
folks.
Chester,
wouldn't even
So
come on this show and
Chester, can
admit
you
that
knock
you
him out,
wrote
please,
that.
so I can have
You're
a
doing yourself a
legit
disservice
here
conversation?
you go.
to who you are as a creator
I'm going to let
by
this
doing
go.
that.
You guys enjoy.
You're
Okay,
doing yourself a huge disservice by
be
even
quiet, Todd.
admitting it.
Okay, where's Chester? When I
Chester's
when I
just
wrote the
listening to you two guys bitch at each other. It's funny.
yeah, come on, man, take it
It's
seriously.
seriously, it's like a
Chester,
child
I'm trying to
wrote that.
have a conversation here, a real
No,
legit
it's
conversation,
stupid.
and this guy's
He was
continuing to
sad. Ray
interrupt me.
was
Is
sad.
this
That
how you're
is like
going to
a
be,
child.
Chester, a moderator on your
Please
own
don't
channel like
continue
this?
this, George. Let's
Yeah.
do some serious news. Come on. This
Come on.
show is not meant for that.
It's
This is
beautiful.
not
It's beautiful.
satire.
You know the cool thing though it is, Todd. He got an article in the Bleeding Fool. So, claps
I
for
write
George,
regularly
dude.
for Bleeding
I
Fools.
know you do. Take the
Okay, well,
compliment. You're
listen.
crummaging.
All the points are chronological, and they're either to the minute to the second, or they're within a couple of minutes of each other. This is a copy and paste of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Todd, if you actually take a moment and compare the two movies, eventually, when you have an opportunity, you will see that everything matches up exactly.
It's
In fact, when Ray
I can
picks
bet
up
I
the,
bet I
picks
can
up the
match it up
dagger,
to an
when
episode
Ray
of
picks up the
Dynasty
dagger
just as
and looks
easily as
over
the way
to the
you can
Death
match
Star,
that up.
is the exact
I
moment
can match it up to an
is the
episode of
exact
a
moment
soap
when
opera as easily as
they
you
take
did
the
that.
Ark of the
It's
Covenant out.
Hey,
such a silly thing.
hold
I
on.
wouldn't even come on here
I
and
do
admit
have
it.
an opinion though, if I might give it. Now,
Oh, really? Now you're interrupting, Chester? Come on, man, be a little more serious.
I am George. We're never serious. This is an entertainment show. But nevertheless, George, I will say this: JJ's done it before.
Yes, of course he's done before, but
Yeah.
this one is so blatantly obvious. It's ridiculous. It's not even a Star Wars story,
You said he was
and
shaped
that's why
like
a
an
lot of these
idol.
characters are
Oh
pushed to the
my
background.
God, it's childlike.
That's why a lot of these characters push to the
Oh
background
my
because
God,
it
George,
doesn't meet the
please,
narrative of Raiders
please.
of the Lost Ark.
You're not really coming on here with this serious narrative that is anything but a bunch of childish notions. Come on.
Todd, you're such a child,
Please,
man.
come on. Are you fucking
You
kidding me?
continue
Are
to
you putting me
interrupt.
on? Are you putting me on?
The chat and I are
Chester.
enjoying this. We're having fun. X-wings also
Okay,
fly.
Chester.
That is very true.
Thank you very much for actually being a good host.
Come on, dude.
I'm
Lighten up
being
and have a little
serious. I'm
fun,
trying to be
George.
You gotta
serious
be
here,
putting us on.
and this guy's constantly interrupting.
Okay, so this is
Is
what you
this a
do,
way
George.
to
This
have
is
a
George. All
channel?
right, I get it. I get it. I get it. This is what you do,
Seriously?
George. You come on Saturday, and
No
we'll go through the
buying
article
crap.
I don't have to
completely.
come on side. The article's right there. Take it
I
seriously. That's
have
why I'm
5
here to
minutes,
jump in.
George.
We
I
don't,
have
because
5
it's
minutes.
crap.
Listen to this guy.
It's
Okay.
utter
Todd,
childish
why don't you show us the artwork?
nonsense.
Why don't you show us the
He's
artwork that you're
shaped
working
like
on now,
bro,
Todd?
he's shaped like an idol, George.
Todd, why don't you show
Come
us the
on.
artwork that you're
All
working
right,
on
let's
now?
not get personal
Oh
now.
my God. Let's
Now,
go
Todd,
to
Todd,
news,
show
if
us
you
what you're
please.
working on right now.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd
Yes.
like to move on to my next article. Thank you very much.
No, I
Thank
like to
you.
see what Todd's working on right now because he's been quiet. He hasn't been showing any artwork. He
Well, you
hasn't
know
been
why
producing.
he's not doing that, George? Because he's actually working on something where he's actually on a contract and he's not allowed to show very much art. Now, I've seen
Oh,
some
really?
art.
Because before I keep hearing Todd say, "Hey, George, hey, Dinale, hey, somebody, why don't you show off your artwork? Why don't show us what you're doing?" And now now that it's turned around, he's not showing anything.
I have
Whoa!
shown. Sorry, it has been
Oh,
shown.
wow! A hand with a hammer. Good one, Todd.
All right, George,
I've shown more than that. I
George,
showed a whole page. Go to my
that
Instagram. I
that's
showed a
enough,
whole
George.
page.
It's gone
Oh, a
past
whole page,
having some
really?
fun.
After how many months?
Yes,
After how many months? It takes you a whole to do a whole page.
I'm still drawing without a script.
How do we know that?
I know that, George. I
You
know
must
that,
be
It
George.
doesn't matter.
George,
George, you're
George.
making it personal.
You know
Okay,
why? No,
you
hold
can
on
pick
a
on me all
second,
you
Todd.
want.
tracing
George, you
is a
know
very
why?
You
difficult
can let him.
and
I can take it.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
a big
dude, but
boy.
let me explain it very clearly. You know why I know it, George, is because I'm under the same NDA. I have seen it.
that's great. And
So, yeah, and meaning
Okay,
you're barking up the wrong tree in this
I
manner is
don't
my
have to
point.
bark up a wrong
it's
tree. I
fine.
can
It
see
let
how
him. He's got.
if this thing gets pulled into a strong. Anyways,
All right, moving on. Many
Yes,
surprises,
many.
announcements
Oh, I
planned
thought I
by
was
fairy tale
reading the
creator
titles.
Hiro
oh
Mashima for
God, come on,
2020.
let it go,
Here we are. Now, this right here is talking about Fairy Tale. Now, if you guys have watched this anime, it's quite
man.
popular. I know my kids like it, and they are doing some new things here for 2020. And this article is going into it a little bit. I don't think I have anybody here that watches much of Fairy Tale, but I will ask my kids because they are right here next to me. Kids, children, college people. I have a question. Fairy Tale's new season is coming out March. You guys looking forward to it, or are you kind of done? Nope, they said Ida and I. Mean they don't need it. So that didn't help me at all. That wasn't helpful. You guys watch Fairy Tale. You showed it to me. Yep, no, they're done with it. Okay, so I guess this doesn't matter to the young Japanese people. Oh well. Next. Now, these next two stories I'm definitely covering to end the show today. Now, go ahead, Todd. Am I alone?
Rumor: the Mandalorian's Pedro Pascal on short list to play Moonlight.
Yeah. Now, this is really cool news. Now, I don't know if I would pick Pedro right off the top to play
Mm-mm.
Moon Knight, but he's a fair actor, and it's way better, way, 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 way better than Daniel Radcliffe playing frickin' Moon Knight. That's who they've been pushing.
Yeah,
Harry
yeah, it's
frickin'
better, but
Potter.
this guy's older. This guy, how old is this guy?
He's older. He's definitely older. He's around our age, I'd say.
I don't know. I don't see Moon Knight as that old.
No, I don't either. But the good thing about it is, he is a very solid actor, though. He is a very solid actor. I don't know what to say. When I saw this news, I definitely dropped it in here because I do not want Daniel Radcliffe as Moon Knight. There's no way he's going to pull it off. And I know we've had this. This has been said many times. Like I've mentioned this last time when my friends and I, when we heard that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be playing Tony Stark, way what 13, 14 years ago, we all balked at it because he was nothing but a drugged out, drunk Hollywood drunk. And it was like, no, screw that. He's not going to be able to do that. But dude, not only did he deliver, he embodied Tony Stark. These conversations happen all the time. We see someone coming in as the role. I mean, when Cumberbatch was chosen as Doctor Strange, a lot of people are like, I don't know about that. That homosexual Sherlock Holmes guy. I don't know about that. But he killed it, right? Right?
Yeah.
So,
No,
uh,
they've been pretty good as
mm,
far as choices. Uh, there's like Jeremy Renner. His character's kind of odd take on Hawkeye, but
it's not bad
they've
though.
worked. No, he's not bad at it, and they've worked his type of character into the mix pretty well. But Hawkeye always seemed like to me is sort of like, I want to be as good as Captain America, and I'm just not, you know?
Right, and he was also more jovial than he was
Right.
portrayed. But it's all right. I thought he did fine. But some of them have been embodied well, like Chris Evans. Even though clearly he doesn't really want to be Captain America, he at least did his job, and he's a very good Captain America. Um, I think you and I both agree Scarlett Johansson isn't necessarily the best Black Widow, but I think she's
But Black
fine.
Widow doesn't have that kind of, like in your head, you don't have as much Black Widow as you've read or whatever, or how many
Mm,
times she's appeared in Daredevil or Avengers. You don't have her as something she has to be done by this person or that.
that's kind of true.
She's just never had that kind of a thing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, no, I agree 100%. Whereas War Machine does have that for me a little bit, and I much preferred the
Mhm.
first guy over Cheadle's War Machine. 100%.
I
The first
agree.
guy was better. Yeah, much better. Yeah. And it's too bad he got all about, hey, pay me more money and got all Hollywood on him, and they just got rid of him. It's too bad because I thought he was perfect War Machine, where Cheadle is just too dour in my opinion. He's not clever, you know. But Cheadle always plays that kind of character, I guess. But whatever. My point being is Pedro is not the person who would come to my mind at all to play Mark Spector at all. But I'm much happier about this, dude. Who would you choose to be Moon Knight? You think who would be good an actor?
Good question, because I don't have anybody in my head, but
I have one.
uh, you know who would have been good, but he passed away, was the guy who played Spartacus.
Oh yeah, no, that dude would have
Drew
been awesome.
McIntyre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But me, it's Army. I think he would be a good Moon
Oh,
Knight, and he's still young enough. You know what I mean?
where's the last time you've seen him though?
He
Jesus.
was in that Henry Cavill movie, the Man from Uncle.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I think he'd be good Moon Knight though. But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. And I think there's a lot of people reacting the same way. And I'm going to check the chat as soon as I finish the second article because they're connected. But it's this made me very happy because Daniel Radcliffe doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, dude. I mean, and my point I was trying to make with the Robert Downey Jr. thing is he beat our expectations, which is awesome. But Daniel Radcliffe, there is no expectation. There is no possibility. It's an impossibility. You cannot have some little sawed off Brit come in and play Mark Spector. I mean, just back up already. You know what I mean? And I'm a
Yeah, he
Moon Knight
seemed
fan.
kind of short, too short for the role, and
He's too British for the role.
he's too, yeah, like a little bit too, what's his name? Hugh Grantish.
Yeah, and he looks like a
He's
crackhead kid. I mean, come on.
he's done some things where I've been surprised by his acting in it though.
Yeah, no, he can act. I think out of the whole group of kids, he's the best one. Emma Watson clearly cannot act out of her way out of her wet paper bag, but it is what it is. But this next article is connected to it as well because we're getting a lot of information about Moon Knight there. They're really pushing forward with it. We're going to get a series, so I'm happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am because I'm a big Moon Knight fan and I feel alone in that all the time. So I am just ecstatic that we're getting Moon Knight. I just want it to be at least good ish. You know what I mean? But rumor Dracula to appear in Disney Plus's Moon Knight series. Of course he should. That is perfect, dude. We might even get Werewolf by Night, or I mean, think of all the cool references we might get out of the Moon Knight, dude.
Hmm.
No?
Well, then, are you going that way as a horror movie? That'd be kind of cool to see
Yeah,
a
no.
superhero horror movie.
And Moon Knight was kind of that way many times. He's kind of been leaned that direction several
Hmm.
times, and that also means we might see Blade pop up,
Oh, there you go.
right?
I'm not happy what they did, the choices they've made for Blade though.
With the new guy,
And he's a incredible actor,
he
but
is.
just not a Blade. You know what I
Eh,
mean?
I'm going to give him a chance. I agree with you saying, and I feel the same way. But I'm going to give him a chance though because he's a solid actor. That guy, he's really solid. And we'll see. We'll see. He's not the image of Blade, whereas Wesley Snipes was the perfect image of Blade. But even though he was a bit short, but they dealt with that with the camera tricks and stuff. But I get your point, dude. But we should give him a shot. He might pull it off because that dude, as Cottonmouth, he owned that. So the only thing cool about Luke
That
Cage
was
was him. Yeah.
that was good.
It was great. But I think it's cool. It's definitely telling us they go in a horror direction, and I'm all for it, dude. I am all for it. Use Moon Knight as as your entrance into the horror aspect of Marvel. Who knows? Maybe Swamp Thing will show up. I mean, who knows what we could get in a Moon Knight series that's based on horror. And of course, his psychological issues can be played out really well in that setting. And what that also means is, because I love Moon Knight, right? And one of the things that was the coolest part of Moon Knight was when during that period, I forget who was drawing him and writing him at the time, but there was a period where Moon Knight actually had the power of the moon. Right, and the closer you came to a full moon, the more physically powerful he became, to the point that he was throwing cars around. I like that aspect, and I hope they take that aspect. And the fact that they're doing a horror version of it makes me feel like we might be going for that aspect. Because let's face it, the standard Moon Knight, who is, Batman in white, it cannot take Dracula at all. But a souped up Moon Knight most certainly can. Right? So it's kind of telling me they're leaning that direction, and that just makes me even happier, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Let's see. Well, this is my last article for today, so let me go see what the chat has to say. Real quick. We got Dr. Venkman in here. Sweet. Let me see here. Boost. It's true, all of it. Todd sprung out again, Dr. Venkman says.
No. I'm not mad. I just don't want to give credence to that. That was kind of nonsense, to be honest.
Oh, you made Thundero almost piss himself from laughing. So awesome.
And
It's
that's all I
true,
was
all
trying
of
to
it.
do because I don't dislike George or anything like that, and I wasn't mad. I
Uh-huh.
just didn't want to hear. I wasn't going to give him the voice to hear that is just a bunch of stupidity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also know you were just kind of hamming it up, where
Oh
George
yeah,
kind of
yeah. I
lost the
was
plot
hammering
there
it.
toward the end, buddy.
That's why I was like
Unfortunately.
over talking him, and
Yeah,
that was just hammering.
I know it's
Yeah,
your
it was
thing. I
just,
get it.
I
But
wanted to
anyway,
aggravate.
Chrono says it's timestamp it, George. He should timestamp it. If he has a legitimate theory that he's put out, then he should push that theory. Why not? And once again, JJ's done that stuff before, dude. I would not put it past him at all because his little homages, his nostalgia points, his little mystery boxes, he's so full of it. JJ is so full of it, dude. But Dr. Bakeman's laughing. Everyone got a kick out of it. I didn't see any melting faces at the end. And that's true. Fair point. Light Yagami says, "What's new with Todd?" Lol. Nixie says, "This is the beginning of a great fan speak schism all over Rise of Skywalker." Lol. Right, right. Jennifer says, "What the?" Booster says, "Anime belongs in the trash." Dude, you are a weeboo guy, whatever that means. You're that. Okay. Um, do I need to come in and save the damn show again? Nah, I got it, dude. It's all right. Short list. Was that a jab at Daniel Radcliffe? Yes, it was. Thank you. Sideways shade and all. Harry Potter for the win. Please, no Daniel Radcliffe is Moon Knight, right, Ara? I mean, come on, dude. That's just not believable. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, you could say, okay, you could do it, but he was such a washout. But he came through and he reinvigorated his not only his career but his life. So good on him for that, dude. Mondo's Night. Oh goodness gracious. Rodimus Flash says, George, all Star Wars news is clickbait. This is true. Duel says, I don't balk at RDJ. I have visions. All right. Well, I did. Robert Downey Jr. is the best actor in the MCU. I don't think I could disagree with you, dude. Ryan Reynolds as Moon Knight. Oh God. Uh, as every Ryan Reynolds as every funny character. Well, the problem with that, Dr. Mankman, is that Moon Knight is nothing funny about him at all.
No, there's
Yeah,
never been that
yeah.
quality to him.
Yeah. Yeah, Bakeman says, "Who the f is making popcorn?" Well, we're enjoying some popcorn while
That's
those two
what
are
it
fighting.
sounded like to me too. Popcorn.
Well, my wife is cooking, so it's probably coming from me. And why are you not sharing, brother? Love Moon Knight, awesome. Else, Tomb of Dracula, sweet. Moon Knight debuted in Werewolf by Night. You're absolutely on top of that, Nick. Good on you, dude. Morbius is coming, and you know what? They have that fellow. Who's the skinny little guy they had playing the Joker, and it was a horrible Joker. But who's that skinny little dude that played Joker? Jared
Jared
Leto. Yeah,
Leto.
that's right. That's right. Jared Leto. He's playing Morbius, and he that might be a better role for him. He might be able to pull that off, actually. Moon Knight uses silver weapons so he can take vampires and wolves. Yeah, no, I know that, dude. But I'm just saying that I like the souped up Moon Knight. I think that was a cool direction. Criminal says, yeah, timestamp it, and if he's doing that, is going to give great news. Yeah, no, I agree. If George is actually on to something and he's correct about that, that would be news that would carry his
Ask
article
your
across the
daughter.
internet.
Ask your daughter. She saw the movie.
Hmm.
She would. I'm sure she's not going to agree.
Well, she wouldn't necessarily know. I don't think she's seen Indiana Jones since she was little, but they're not in the room anymore. Uh, let's see here. Last comment, and then I'm going to end the show. Leto can barely pull himself off. He's a bad actor. Yeah, but no. I think he's an actor that if he's in the right role, he's really good, and if he's not, he sucks. I think he's that type of dude, right? It's kind of like Redmayne. He's the same. If he's in the right role, he's awesome. If he's in the wrong role, he's horrible. It's not like an Anthony Hopkins or some of those guys who it doesn't matter where you put them, they're gonna just be spectacular. They're not like that. That's true. Anyway, cool. All right, so that's the end of our show here, and interesting for sure. Especially we got a little bit of fight. So that's always fun. So what'd you think about our news today, Todd?
You know what? There was good news, or it was a good show. Check out Hawkeye, Free Fall by
Hmm.
Otto Schmidt. Well, he's the artist. It looks really cool. Because we did speak of Hawkeye earlier, and I wanted to mention that because it
Uh-huh.
came to mind. That came out today, or I don't know if it came out yesterday or today.
Yeah.
New
Well,
comics.
the thing with Hawkeye though is he's been so maltreated for the past 2 years. It would be nice to see a nice run for Hawkeye. Actually, he really has been mistreated, dude. I mean, it's just.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the nonsense they did with him and living as a single man in some beat up little apartment, and then him having to play second idiot fiddle to the female Hawkeye. I mean, it's just such disrespect to that character, and that's one of the original Avengers too. Now he wasn't an original. He was a bad guy actually, that got pulled over to the good side. But it's just ridiculous, man. Size. Anyway, you guys know that coming up at 22 minutes, we have ourselves the Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition, and we hope you all come back for that because we're going to have some fun. We're doing Warhammer 40K, baby, and that's going to be an interesting show to see what the guys decide to do with that. And I don't know what you're doing tonight, Todd, but I don't think I am full seated. So if you wanted to be part of that, just come on by the Discord. But other than that, I'm going to let Todd make his closing goodbyes, and then he's going to namaste us out of here, dude.
Oh, really? I got to do the whole.
Well,
Um,
you're the only
l-
one here.
did new comics come out today? By the way,
I don't
or
know.
was it yesterday? Because it's a holiday. I know they came out on the 26th last week, so
Hmm.
I wonder. But today's new comic day, so go check out and look for some good comics. They're out there. You
Yeah, they
know,
are.
w- Once in Future is a really good book that I've been reading. This Joker Harley thing where they're using two artists looks amazing. I'm not sure why they're using only one color or very little color on Miko Soyin's stuff, but man, it looks incredible.
Mm.
And it is really really dark tale. So I would go read that. It's what Joker Harley something. I forget the full name. Criminal Insanity or Criminal Sanity. That was it. Yeah. Number two came out today. So check out some of the new books and let us know what you're liking.
Mm.
and get involved in the news and come on with us. It's a new year, so let's get some new people, new blood.
New day.
Maybe we won't have as much charge. There you go.
There you go.
Namaste.
Namaste. All right, guys. Later, and I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Bye.